Welcome, team. Welcome to yet another episode of Coach by TripleDart. So we've got another exciting speaker lined up for this episode, and the topic that he has picked up is something that all the marketers today are extremely curious about. Before we get started, before I hand over, the spotlight to Marcus, just a brief about who we are, what we do, what this coach episode is all about, and the introduction about the speaker. And right after this, I will let Marcus take over the next episode of Coach. Okay, as you all know, we are Triple Dart. Triple Dart was founded in 2021. We have offices in India, Singapore, USA. We are a team of about 70 plus marketing professionals. We take care of growth for 70 plus startups today across different spectrums like B2B SaaS, B2C SaaS, enterprise technology, Web3, Gen AI companies. So there are multiple top brands that we work with, and you can see some of our logos here. And most of it is covered in our website. Beyond that, we've been running this coach by Triple Dart for the past 5 months, and we have had some very interesting speakers in the past across the globe talking on variety of topics. And today we are bringing in yet another episode which focuses on account-based marketing. And to handle that, we have Marcus, who is the CEO of N.Rich. And he's N.Rich is a company that develops proprietary ABM advertising and intent data for global companies. It's trusted by many enterprise companies across the globe. Marcus has over 10 years of experience in the ABM industry. He brings in deep expertise when it comes to data analytics, also amazing people management skills, and has a sharp eye for detail. We are thrilled to have Marcus for this episode of Coach, and we are bringing in a topic that resonates with all early stage startups trying to sell to enterprises today, which will be focused on account based marketing. Over to you, Marcus, and thanks a lot for doing this for us.
Thanks a lot, Mahesh. Great to be here. Thanks for having me. Really excited about this opportunity. And let me just go ahead and share my screen. Here we go. All right, so my screen is now visible.
Yes, it is.
Perfect. So let's get started. What I'm going to be discussing today for the next half an hour is a 5-step approach into successful account-based enterprise go-to-market. So I want to highlight that this is about mid-market to enterprise approach. So typically companies any companies that are targeting and want to go up market to higher ACV markets. Typically, I would say the ACV should be at least 30,000 USDs in order for ABM to make sense. So just that should be the lens through which you look at or listen to this presentation today. So that's the focus. So not the transactional, not the kind of small business type low ACV deals, but larger deals, and especially valuable if you are planning to go up market. So let's start with a question. So what is the best way right now in which marketing can grow high quality pipeline? And this question probably should be coming up in every organization. At least the CMO should be thinking about it, and I'm sure the CEO should be asking marketing or the CMO how are you planning to do this? And unfortunately, the typical way to kind of answer this question is about leads. So marketing, can you give us some more leads? And this is really, if you go again to this upmarket enterprise market, that's completely the wrong question, completely the wrong strategy. And this is what the presentation is all about, kind of understanding like kind of what is the difference between the let's say this kind of lead-driven approach and the account-driven approach for go-to-market. So not just about marketing side, but overall go-to-market, and how can you basically optimize, no matter what is your current stage of maturity, like how can you optimize your approach. So then to another question, which is equally important. So during the past year, how much of your upmarket sales pipeline has measurably been influenced by digital marketing? And this is again something that I'm sure every CMO would like to be able to present and show, that this is how much of the enterprise pipeline and enterprise revenue we've been able to generate or influence during the past 12 months. But oftentimes, unfortunately, it rolls back to that point about the leads, that we did deliver this many leads, we did deliver this many MQLs, and so forth, without actually going into the question about like how can we show the impact to revenue, how can we show the impact to the pipeline. So at the moment, majority of companies, technology companies, SaaS companies in particular, are facing a pipeline issue. So it's harder to convert customers into pipeline, harder to get opportunities, and quota attainment is like quite low at the moment, on average, much lower than it has been in the past. So marketing actually has like a really big potential impact on helping with the growth of the companies, but that's not coming from the leads, and that's coming from a more strategic and longer term approach, especially now since we are focusing on the higher ACV business. So let's look at the evolution of the upmarket enterprise go-to-market motions, just to get everybody on track about what we're talking about here. So here we have first like the share of enterprise pipeline that is measurably contributed by marketing. This is like a rough estimate that if you are doing a spray and pray model, which is essentially like the typical way an inbound-driven business starts expanding to enterprise. Basically, like just trying to convert somehow this inbound motion into an inbound kind of low ACP SMB motion into an enterprise motion. And here, especially like you hear this question often about like that we need more high-quality ICP leads, we need more MQLs. And the in this case, like the ICP qualification, is this appropriate fit for our business, is done at the SAL stage. So basically after you have generated the lead, and often the sales feedback is that the leads that we are getting from marketing are quite bad quality, and often it's heard that sales is not doing anything with the leads, and typically this is very disconnected organizations. So marketing is able to just deliver the MQLs and don't really worry about like what's happening like after that. But this is not going to be enough, and this is not going to work like for the enterprise approach. It might work and it will work for the SMB low ACV approach, but not for the enterprises. So then there is another approach here, which I've labeled ABM Curious. So this is companies who have kind of learned about ABM and are kind of enhancing their inbound playbook with ABM. It's essentially spray and pray, but now with some kind of an ABM twist to it. So for instance, on LinkedIn, targeting specific accounts, but still the overall go-to-market process is relying on the lead generation, on the form fills. And with this approach, normally what happens is that the volumes decrease. In spray and pray, you can get, of course, anything, so you'll have large volumes. But in this case, it will clearly decrease. So you'll have much less of leads. And this leads very often to this question that, okay, so now we are targeting these correct accounts and our ICP. So where are our high quality ICP leads? So there is like a big drop, but in this model, you can still generate more of the ICP pipeline. So 5 to 10% is the estimation. But again, this is not really kind of an optimal strategy for this purpose, like targeting the upmarket accounts. Then we go to already like kind of a real ABM approach. This is called marketing-centric ABM. So here you already realize that lead generation is not what we should do with ABM. That's not the primary thing, but we should actually be doing a more kind of an account-based approach where we are like engaging the accounts over a long period of time, and then eventually something should happen. And typically there is still like a handover to the sales. And the problem with this model typically is, which is coming up very often, is that the sales has no idea what they are going to do with these hot accounts or marketing qualified accounts, because sales model in the two of those like left like those first models, they are basically based on it is basically based on leads. It's based on contacts. So in this case, you don't have contacts, so then you need a different motion. So again, there is a disconnect between sales and marketing. Marketing might do, we've seen really sophisticated ABM playbooks, ABM strategies, but sales is not really doing anything with it. So that's one of the big problems when you adopt ABM. And then finally, we get to the topic and goal of this session here, and that's the account-based go-to-market, which essentially means that marketing and sales are aligned towards the same goal. So it's a very aligned model where eventually you should end up celebrating joint wins in a way that sales recognizes what's the value of marketing. Marketing understands what sales does with the data they provide and can help them over the kind of the overall funnel. And then in the end, there is a model, encouraging model in place, which means that neither sales or marketing wants to think that only we own it, but like actually they can celebrate the wins together. So this requires data, and it requires a different perspective altogether, and it requires a lot of alignment, and I'll talk about those requirements soon. And just as a small point here is that there is even one, there is even a more advanced approach than this, which should then include the CSAM, kind of the overall relationship management, retention, and upsell cycle. But I'm not going to go there for now. So this session is just going to be focusing on the net new customer acquisition. All right. So now to the agenda, to this 5-step process. So first, you need to get marketing, sales, and management buy-in. Then you need to define your ICP and continuously improve. You need to align your ABM process on buyer journey and intent signal data. You need to have an account-based playbook for a contact-based sales team, which is the big challenge. And then finally, you need to be able to measure the business impact that the account-based motion is having overall. And with these steps, you will be able to roll out a very successful account-based go-to-market motion. And now let's go through these areas one by one. So first, about the alignment. So this is something that we see happening very rarely. So typically, marketing is driving the account-based marketing initiative, and even if it goes to the account-based go-to-market initiative, it's typically marketing who is driving this. But marketing alone can't succeed with it. So that's the kind of the marketing-driven ABM model, which will fail because sales is not aligned, and also the top management is not aligned. So what you need to align with here is that you need to have a definition of the ICP that the sales or the CRO here, the CEO or the top management CEO and even the board like are aligned with. So everybody, like when asked, everybody knows what the ICP is, and preferably at least some examples of the accounts that are like the best fit ICP. You need to have and define these hard and soft metrics. So how would marketing and how would this account-based go-to-market be measured over time? So what are the hard metrics that it is influencing? And these metrics need to be primarily hard. So CEO and CRO, the board, they don't care about soft metrics, they care about the hard metrics. But at the same time, especially towards the CEO and the top management, there needs to be this long perspective into the approach. So it's more like a strategic perspective. So then the marketing needs to be able to show that things are going to the right direction. So nobody wants to wait a year before they see results. That's why you also need the soft results, soft metrics. Then you need to have the strategic goals. So what do you want to achieve with ABM? So this is not, or account-based go-to-market, it's not a campaign, it's not a tactic, it's not something like short-term, let's try this for this quarter or something. It is a strategic shift, which in the end should be like one of the go-to-market models. Typically companies don't have many, like might have 1, 2, depending on the stage, but this should be one of them when you go towards the enterprise and upmarket companies. And then you need to be defining what are the budgets, people and resources that are needed in general. Now I want to go into a bit more detail about this alignment so that it's more concrete. So for the CEO, and actually CFO becomes like also a very important person here, and like for some reason we also see that the board becomes an important influencer potentially here. So you need to be focusing on these hard metrics, not the soft ones. So nobody will be impressed with marketing influence, marketing attribution, click-through rates, number of clicks. These kind of things don't matter. So you need to have those hard metrics in place. You need to be able to measure them. You need to agree them, align about them, that these are the metrics we are trying to achieve. This is probably the most difficult change that needs to happen, and this is why the CFO and board needs to be involved as well. So it's very often that it's actually because of the board and because of the CFO that this lead driven model is just maintained, and that's the only thing that is being focused with. So they don't know better. So often, so there is no other way that they know of in which you could measurably or measure the marketing performance or like overall like how the go-to-market is progressing. And this is a big change that needs to happen. So everybody needs to understand, okay, it's not leads that we are measuring, it's something else, and this something else needs to be defined on those metrics part. And then you need to put emphasis on the strategic term. Now for the CEO, CFO, and the board, like of course they are also interested in the short term, but like more interesting is to look at the long term. So what are our goals? What are our goals like a year from now, 18 months from now, and how can we drive these goals using this account-based go-to-market? So instead of talking about short-term demand capture for the top management, it's about the long-term and strategic approach. Then going to the CRO or the sales leadership, whatever the structure you have is. So here, it's different from the top management. So here it's about the short-term revenue impact. So here, like CRO couldn't care less about the long-term, like strategic 18-month impact, but here it's really like 1 to 2 quarters at most. And again, here you should be using these key commercial metrics to show the value. So again, instead of talking about the influence or attribution, you need to show like how is marketing helping to generate more pipeline, and then like convert more deals into closed won. CRO needs to own a big change here. So it's a new playbook and possibly new people to run this. And I'll talk a bit more about that shortly. But like here it's recommended to start with small scale pilots that the CRO owns and runs. So it's not going to work out. We've seen so many failures in this area where like the CRO is not taking the lead, but it's the marketing who tries to take the lead. But if it's the sales team that is in question and change that you need to run in the organization, it's clear that it's not going to work out. And then one more important thing, which we rarely see happening, but you should definitely point out, is that commissions are the way to change the behavior of the sales team. So when you align the commissions to the desired behavior, you probably are going to get it. So for example, like we have our own account-based go-to-market motion. Instead of saying that if marketing is having influence, they get more commission and sales gets less commission, even if sales is involved. What we are saying is that actually now sales gets more commission if there is marketing influence that can be measured. So we are paying more to the individuals in order to encourage them to work on the marketing influenced accounts. And this way, what we see is that the conversion rates are higher. So it definitely pays out to increase the commissions for the sales. And what you want to avoid here is this siloing in a way that everybody wants to think that this is my own deal. Like I'm the one who owns it. I'm the one who kind of achieved it. And I don't want to give any credit to any others. So in terms of the metrics, so this is there are three metrics here. So the first one is the ICP buyer journey progression. So this is showing how the marketing is having impact over time. So how accounts are moving from cold towards hot. Then there's the ICP, the opportunity conversion. So this is a very important metric. So marketing should be really gearing everything that is done towards this market, obviously together with the sales development to maximize the conversion to opportunities. So this is super important metric. And then finally there is the sales velocity. So essentially like the win rate, the deal size, and the sales cycle that need to be taken into consideration and can be used. So when there is like this account-based motion in place compared to when it isn't in place, can we see higher win rates? Can we see bigger deal sizes? Can we see faster sales cycles? So there's a lot there, and I just wanted to emphasize this because it's really like a big challenge for many companies. So then going to the ICP definition. So we have here a screenshot from our platform just to illustrate like the kind of one possible approach to the ICP definition. So in the ICP definition, we recommend using hard sales data. So deal size, annual contract value, lifetime value, sales cycle, win rate. Most of this data typically is available from the CRM. So that should be used as the basis. So instead of it's my hunch or it's based on my experience, this is what it is, or like it's kind of an opinionated thing that everybody has a bit of a different opinion. Use the hard data that is available within your CRM and justify the ICP definition with that. ICP should be defined as an account list. So this account should be available in the CRM on the account level. So you shouldn't be creating just an industry-based list. So the industry-based targeting. So you are targeting like, let's say, manufacturing companies. No, that's not good because then this doesn't become reality. Then it's just some kind of arbitrary like definition, but it's not really going to the account level. So when it's an account-based motion, you need to be on the account level. So it's good to have the industry type kind of firmographic definition of the segment or of the ICP, but it should also be available as accounts. And this way, what you achieve is that these accounts get value. So there is a certain value when, for instance, somebody from like a certain account is visiting the website. And this is very important mindset change that it's not leads that you should be celebrating, it's the engagement that you should be celebrating like as the kind of indicator that eventually this is probably potentially going to turn into an opportunity. Then, if it's possible to define an ICP fit, like some kind of metric that tells you how good a fit this specific account is, considering your ICP, this helps a lot, because then with all the new accounts, you can see like what the level of fit is. And then finally, you should be doing updates to this ICP definition and data, at least on a quarterly basis, in order to ensure that that's like it's always up to date. Especially if you are earlier stage company, there can be a lot of changes to the definition over time. And also one point again with the earlier stage companies, and if you are now just thinking of going up market, you might not have a lot of data in the CRM yet, so you just need to make educated guesses and then start to collect the data. So like if you don't have it, then you don't have it, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't start. So that's important related to the ICP, and I would say ICP is probably the most important thing in terms of the like after the alignment to ensure that your account-based go-to-market approach will be successful. Here you can see, like in the image, you can see like a deep comparison of the high-velocity ICP to the non-ICP. This is our own account, so you can see here like there is quite significant difference in terms of the average deal size, a bit of difference in the sales cycle, and then in terms of win rates, there is a huge difference. So high velocity ICP converts like 800% better than the like non-ICP random accounts. So there is a clear reason why marketing should focus on these accounts and why sales should focus on these accounts eventually as well. Okay, then going to the buyer journey approach. So the whole starting point of this account-based go-to-market is to think about the buyer journey. And now we go to this is an approach, a certain approach to the buyer journey, where we start from the cold accounts, and this is giving you an idea of like what kind of content should be used. So there's the top of the funnel, which is use case awareness, middle of the funnel, which is product awareness, and then bottom of the funnel, which is more like converting to opportunity. And here is an idea like of the target, of the objective. So you always need to take into consideration that there's a buying committee. So it's not just one person who you want to engage with. This is enterprise upmarket prospects we are talking about here. So and here is the objectives here. So what you want to do in the cold stage, so accounts that don't have any intent, you should be aiming to create these use case champions. So individual people who are starting to mobilize change within the organization, and you use the use case awareness to achieve this. Then you have this kind of parallel segment or stage here, which is in market. So these are essentially accounts that are cold from your brand and offering perspective, but they might be hot for some of your competition. So this is using third-party intent, and this is telling you like that, okay, these accounts are now probably in process already, so it will be most likely faster to convert them into our pipeline than with cold accounts, but they are still essentially cold accounts. So here, what you want to do is, again, it's 1 to 2 key personas, but here you want to create brand champions. So they already have the use case, they already have the need, there's already kind of the buyer journey is ongoing, but you need to make somebody a champion of your brand. So let's include this company into our RFP, or like let's look into their offering as well. So that's your goal with this one. So this is a middle of the funnel content you should use. Then once the account starts to engage with your content, so it means they'll engage with your ads, they will visit your website, you'll have maybe some leads coming from this account, then and they are engaging with your nurturing content. So here, what you want to do is you want to get the buying committee support. So you want to target everybody in the organization at the same time, top, middle, and bottom of the funnel, and you want to ensure that everybody is supporting the idea of talking to you and getting you into their buying process. And then finally, we get to the hot. This is the marketing qualified account stage. So here, like the account is engaging intensively compared to the average engagement. So they are visiting your website a lot. Maybe they are hand raisers, so they actually fill the form. There are a lot of people who are engaging from this account. They are spending a lot of time on your page, maybe going to very valuable pages or content within your website, things like technical documentation and so forth. And here, what you want to do is that you want to convert them. So let's talk to sales, like let's do a demo. So that's the place when at the latest you should have the sales or sales development to also be involved. So marketing can try to do it as well, but at the same time, sales should be involved. And actually, also in the in-market and engage stages, you can have the sales development involved, but just with a bit different messaging, longer sequences than you use with the hot, because the objectives are a bit different. And then finally, you get to the pipeline. So once the conversion happens from the MQA to SQL and to the pipeline, and here it's more about the air cover. So this is a step that is very often omitted, and companies who are not account-based or account-minded in a sense don't really realize why should marketing be involved in this stage. This is a sales-only thing, but no, it should be like marketing should be there from the start to finish. And here we are talking about air cover to help the buying committee decide. So again, it's the entire buying committee. You can forget about the top of the funnel here because they already know you. But product and opportunity conversion, these two things, this kind of middle and bottom of the funnel, you should be still doing at this stage. Okay, so this is like a one framework that you can use to approach the accounts and with the personalized content. And if we just kind of summarize what's happening here, this is the big change of the, let's say, inbound lead generation approach to the account-based approach. So the majority of your marketing influence should happen before the conversion, but it should have measurable impact on the conversion. So now we are talking about this magical 70% of the buyer journey, which is essentially independent for the customer. They are just like researching themselves. The buyer journey is ongoing before they are ready to be in touch with you. And this is where you should be there, like from the beginning. Like this is the demand generation part. You're influencing, you're nurturing these accounts. And this is a screenshot from our platform. So we basically separate the different stages of the companies, and then you have a possibility of basically targeting these companies with different kinds of messages depending on the stage, buyer journey stage of the accounts. And then we enter the demand capture, which is the conversion stage. Unfortunately, for many companies, and especially the top management, this is the only thing people understand. They only understand that, okay, this is all about demand capture. It's all about short term. It's all about like just converting the demand that is already out there. But the fact is that you have limited demand at any time that is in the market. So, whether it's, 3%, 5%, or 10% of the accounts that are in market at the same time, like that number is not going to increase very significantly. So that's why you need to be doing this kind of demand generation part at all times, and then do really concentrated, focused effort on the demand capture. And actually, the demand generation part is going to influence the demand capture the most. So if you just do demand capture, you will be missing out on a lot, like with the demand capture part. So with the demand capture, you have the MQA. So we call these hot accounts, but it's the marketing qualified account. So they are basically you get them when you are persistently generating the awareness, moving them towards throughout their buyer journey and establishing your brand as a trusted and product as a trusted alternative to solving their need. Then you have the MQA to SQL. So this is basically the difficult part, where you need to convert the account into a lead, account into a contact. And this is what normal sales teams or sales development teams are not really kind of trained to do. So that's why the transformation is needed. And then finally, you have the SQL, basically the opportunity. And here, you need your sales probably has some kind of qualification framework like Medpic or like something more traditional like Band. And here it will be very important that any accounts that are accepted and go to this stage, they need to have the need, and usually these intent signals are the best way to determine that need. So this way, like intent is very important part of this overall process to ensure that the conversion is increasing. And then finally, you have the pipeline, obviously, like after the conversion. Okay, so then how do you use this data? So you first have the intent signal data. You have like this again, like how we do it at N.Rich. You can also, of course, do it in many other ways. But just to give you an example, so we have automated workflow. If the account is called in market or engaged, accounts are moved into a specific segment. So we have a different segment for each of these stages. And then like the content will be personalized. So if the account is cold, they will have very different content from compared to if they are engaged. And then finally, we want to generate engagement. And here, like the more engagement there is, the more intent there will be. So this is kind of a self-reinforcing loop in a sense that you'll just like end up getting more hot accounts when you or more MQAs like when you do more of this. And nowadays, AI is involved in both of these, in the personalized content and engagement generation. Like so, personalization obviously being an important let's say goal for the AI, and the other one is the optimization of the distribution. So this basically drives or feeds back into the intent signal data, and then eventually you'll have this MQAs, hot accounts. This data is delivered to the CRM. And then sales can prioritize it. Then they can use different tools to prospect on these accounts, and then finally they should be booking the meeting, which like essentially means an SAL, which then should convert into SQL and opportunity in the end. So now to the last or second last point here about like how to convert these ICP accounts from the MQAs or account level into SALs or to contact level. So normally, like this SAL conversion of the ICP account in the enterprise side, it's very low if you do the spray and pray. But if you do the ICP, it's typically quite high. So you can expect like to convert 30% or more. It won't be 100% for sure. Like even if you have an MQA and you try to convert them into a meeting, obviously you're not going to always succeed. But it should be much higher than what you are getting with the MQLs. Even though you don't start with the lead, you start with the account. So now the information you have about this account is that you have, first of all, you know which are your key buyer personas, so who you want to talk to. And then on the other hand, you have the intent signal data. So you know like what caused this account to be MQA. So what pages on your website they visited, what ads they were engaging with, what kind of signals did you receive in general about this account. And based on these two things, like you can do the contact sourcing, or this is the sales development typically who does it. So using different tools like LinkedIn Sales Navigator, Cognition, ZoomInfo, Lucia, and so forth. You can use the location data and the buyer persona data to identify certain personas found from a certain location to kind of identify the most relevant contacts. But you shouldn't be too picky about that. That's like also our guideline, because you don't always have accurate location data. So even if you don't find the correct persona from the correct this specific location, it doesn't matter. You should be still prospecting the correct people from this account, because here essentially the target is not to find this specific person who visited your website or who engaged with you, but actually the target is to or the idea is that there is a need or buying process in the account, so it should reflect to many people within the account, not just this one person who may have researched your offering. And then finally, you need to do the personalized outreach. So you can then use the persona, the signal data, which is coming from the engagement details, and then you can customize and tailor, personalize the email, LinkedIn cadences, and then the calling scripts. So it's not very complicated, but it's still very different from a traditional lead-based funnel, which the sales team is used to. So the key insight about this transformation is that the big change is that before the sales development team is used to getting hand raisers from inbound. So it means it's people who have actually wanted to talk to them. Obviously, conversion is quite easy in those cases. But then now what we are looking at here is that actually ICP accounts that are qualified with intent signals. So it's accounts, and it's not a hand raiser. It's just a behavioral signal that is telling that this account is probably interested. So that's a huge change. So there are a few advice here that I would like to share. So first of all, the sales leader needs to take the accountability for this transformation. So it's not marketing responsibility to do this. So that's why you need the alignment. If possible, you should use fresh resources here. So rather than using your existing, team who is very used to their current model, if you can find somebody new who would kind of be doing this from the beginning, it would be much better. So then they don't have this reference point, and they don't have this kind of expectations which typically are false. So the problem is that many SDRs expect that the MQA means a hand raiser. It means the same thing as the inbound contact who raised the hand, and obviously it doesn't. And then finally, you should work iteratively, with starting with some quarterly pilots. So for instance, 1 to 2 resources, and start with that, and then expand when you can actually show some results, and you kind of start to see what works and what doesn't work. And then finally, what I mentioned already before, pay more commission for the desired behavior. So it would be better to pay more for this marketing influenced MQAs versus accounts that are completely cold, because they will eventually for sure also prospect cold accounts. Okay, then final point. So how to measure the success of this motion? So I already mentioned this in the beginning. It's the metrics that the CEO and CRO want to hear. So first, there is the buyer journey progression. So this again, screenshot from the platform. So this is telling you and the team that the behavioral change is happening. So the companies are moving from cold towards hot. That's important. It's like a leading indicator that something good is happening. Then you have the conversion. So from marketing qualified account to SQL. Or to the opportunities. That's a super important metric, and that's really kind of the key metric that marketing should be focused in. Then we have the opportunity influence. So again, here is the a screenshot from our platform. So here you can basically see the value of the opportunities that had marketing influence before the creation of the opportunity, which is the pre-opportunity influence, and then after the creation of the opportunity. So this will be very useful for the management to understand that okay, marketing is actively influencing the pipeline, but it's not enough. So especially top management eventually probably are not going to be super interested in this, because they can always ask the question, so what? So okay, now you have influenced these accounts. What was the benefit of that? And the benefit should be sales velocity. So you should be able to tell that, okay, when we are influencing the opportunity or this account that has the opportunity for a certain period of time before the creation, and then we did air cover, then you have a shorter sales cycle, bigger deal size, higher ACV, higher LTV, or better win rate. So you need to tie it again to the hard metrics. Otherwise, the top management and is not going to care very much. So that's it. It's the 5 steps to implement your successful account-based go-to-market motion. And if you want to be in touch, go ahead. Here's my LinkedIn QR code, and we also offer for the webinar participants a free account-based strategy roadmap. So you can also find it here from our website. So thank you very much.
That was super insightful, Markus. I think it is applicable to a lot of account-based marketing efforts that we are taking internally for TripleDart. And I think when this goes out, it is going to be immensely useful for the marketers, that are part of a community. I'm just going to not keep you here for long, but just round up with a couple of questions. Is there a sweet spot on the number of accounts that a company can pick? And just an add-on to it is, hey, how long can you persist with an account?
Okay. So that's a good question. So again, like I would say, you need to start with somewhere around at least hundreds of accounts, but I would say like 1,000 is a good starting point. And the reason to this is that you can't know which accounts are in market, so you need to have a bigger base, and it can go up. I mean, I'd say like if it's more than 5,000, then you need to be a really big company. So I'd say like somewhere around like 1,000 to 3,000, or let's say 500 to 3,000. Like I normally see that it makes sense. And with this kind of an approach, it means that you will have a lot of accounts that are cold, but then you will have already some accounts that are hot. So when you have a very small number of accounts, like this, more like one to few approach, then you would have maybe like if you have 100 accounts, let's say. So it could be that none of them are hot yet, all of them are cold. So then you don't really get this spread of like the likelihood of having hot accounts gets smaller and smaller when you do this kind of pre-qualification. Let's only focus on this account. So that's why it should be a bit bigger group of accounts. That's our recommendation.
Got it. And when do you generally move accounts out of the targeting? Is there some sort of a signal that you have when you think that we should move them out of targeting? Say, for example, I've targeted this particular account. So I built an account book for a year. And like say, in the first 3 months, I've not even got any sort of signal from the account of them being engaging with my ads or something. I just push them and bring in new accounts, or it should be the 1 year cycle I need to follow.
Yeah, so that's a good question. So I would generally say that as long as this account is in your ICP, you should be targeting them. So if your ICP changes in a way that, okay, we don't target, let's say you have healthcare industry in your ICP, but then it drops out, then it's obvious that you should take them out. But even if they are not engaging, it doesn't mean that they are not like it just might mean that they are not at the moment like interested, but it doesn't mean that they will never be interested. So I would say that again, I would recommend to finding ways to do this on more on engagement basis, so that you are basically paying for engagement rather than impressions. Because if you pay for impressions, then obviously then you need to really do the optimization of who you want to show this. But like when you do it based on engagement, then like the optimization is going to take care of this, that people who are not interested, they are going to see less of the ads, and people who are interested, they will see more of them. So this way it's kind of organically, automatically taken care of in the background, as long as you are like optimizing for the action rather than the impression.
Perfect. And what about content velocity? How frequently should we be swapping our content, and what kind of content we need? I know you covered the funnel, but what is a good time to kind of swap, and because there shouldn't be content or ad fatigue over a period of time also.
Yeah, it's amazing question. So I would say that content is the driver of this machine. So content is the most important like kind of fuel to making this work. And therefore, like I would first answer to how much content you need, and I would say like there's almost no limit how much content you can have, because you should think about how can you personalize, like how can you do personalization in the like very granular way. And then it's of course like a question of how much budget you have and so forth. When you have enough content, you will start to see that there are differences in the performance. Like I like to look at the engagement rates. I think that's typically quite good way to look at it. So if you have a very low CTR and some ads have a higher CTR, however, what I would always recommend to look at is your message very generic? So if you have a very generic message, you might have a high CTR, but it just means that you get maybe lower quality people to click it. So if you have like a super specific message to like a certain persona, it might not matter even if the CTR is low, because you are actually getting this very high quality, clicks. It's the CFO, or it's like a certain persona. So there's always, it requires some expertise to be able to do the optimization of the content. But I would say generally, like at least on a quarterly basis, you should refresh like 20 to 50% of your content. Generally, we recommend like an always-on approach. So you shouldn't think about it so much. Like you can also do campaigns, but generally it should be like an always on thing where you are just keeping and refreshing the content like all the time.
Perfect, Marcus. I think we are at the top of the hour. Thanks a lot for doing this for us. This is going to be super insightful. I'm really excited of how it goes to the market and the reception that we get. We'll keep you posted on all the YouTube postings that we have, along with the marketing material that we build. And hopefully we can do one more conversation in the future on something similar. Okay?